A very good afternoon to you. Welcome to the West Ham Voice. I'm sure you've all seen the Europa League draw now and the group that we're in, Group A. We're playing four teams, Olympiacos, Freiburg, and TSK from TSC, from Serbia. I'm going to talk about the teams in a moment, talk about the players to look out for, how we get there, and all that sort of stuff. But first of all, very, very briefly, I'm going to just give you an update on some transfer news because there's quite a lot that's going about at the moment. So just briefly, apparently Southampton are in for Ben Johnson. I don't know if it's a loan deal or if it's an outright purchase, but it looks like they're trying to complete a deal for the young player. Now, I said in this morning's show that if we're looking at moving some players on, especially those who are homegrown players, then we're going to need to find a way of replacing them with homegrown players as well. So look out for that one. Apparently the Johnson deal to Southampton could happen later on today. Apparently we've purchased, I don't know, again, I'm rushing this because this is more about the Europa League. Apparently we've made a purchase of a midfielder, Andy Irving, from SK Austria Klagenfurt, but apparently immediately loaned the player back to the Austrian club. So look out for more news on that. Maxwell Cornet is apparently still getting interest from Everton. So it's quite likely that Cornet will be leaving the club in this summer transfer window in the dying hours of it. Now, to replace him, Philip Kostic, there's still an interest in Kostic for about £20 million. It looks like Juve want to sell the player. But if we don't buy Kostic, there's another player that came up from Juve earlier today, which is Samuel Illing Jr. He's also a sort of a left winger, a left-sided winger, but more of an attacking winger, kind of a left-wing a wing back. So look out for that as well. So there's quite a lot of news. But of course, the one thing that I didn't mention this morning in order to make up the homegrown requirements is that Jesse Lingard is apparently going to imminently sign a contract with West Ham, probably for the whole season. So look out for that as well. But let's talk about the actual draw, shall we? The Europa League draw. Look, we know how it all went. You know, there were 32 teams that were split into 4 seeding pots. What we had to do was get those 32 teams into 8 groups. And there were a number of pairings that had to happen in order to make sure that teams weren't clashing from the same leagues, etc. And also to make sure that we're no clashes in games for teams that were playing in the Europa Conference League as well. Fixtures were confirmed, will be confirmed after this draw. I think we'll find out early next week when the actual fixtures will be. But the games are going to be played between the 21st of September to the 14th of December. And of course, the winners will go through to the last 16. And runners-up will have to do playoffs against sides in that drop down from the Champions League. So what are the current match days? Well, the dates are 21st of September, 5th of October, 26th of October, 9th of November, 30th of November, and finishing off on the 14th of December. Let's see who we're going to get and when we're going to play them. The next draw, the next Europa League draw, will be the knockout round playoff, which will feature, as I've mentioned, the group runners-up in the 8 groups of the Europa League, and they'll be playing 8 teams that transfer or drop down from the Champions League. Now, the draw dates after this, the one that was held today, the knockout round playoff draw dates will happen on the 18th of December. Knockout round playoff fixtures will happen on the 15th and the 22nd of February. The round of 16 draw will happen on the 23rd of February, the day after the playoffs. And the round of 16 fixtures will happen on the 7th and the 14th of March. Then the quarterfinal and semi-final and final draw dates will happen on the 15th of March. The quarterfinal fixtures will happen on the 11th and 18th of April. The semi-finals, 2nd and 9th of May, leading up to the final on the 22nd of May in Dublin. So what are the pots? They were Ajax, Atalanta, Bayer Leverkusen, Liverpool, Rangers, Roma, Villarreal and West Ham. In pot 2 was Lask, Marseille, Olympiacos, Qarabag, Real Betis, Rennes, Slavia Prague and Sporting Lisbon. Pot 3 was Brighton, Maccabi Haifa, Molde, Freiburg, Sheriff Tiraspol, Sparta Prague, Sturm Graz, and Royal Union St. Gilloise. Pot 4 was AEK Athens, Aris Limassol, Hacken, Panathinaikos, Rakow Czestochowa, Servette, Toulouse, and TSCC. So there are the groups. We now know we're playing Olympiakos, SC Freiburg from Germany, and FKTSC from Serbia. I'm going to give you more details of those 3 teams in a moment. Group B, what an interesting group that is. Brighton, their first sojourn into Europe, and they've got Ajax Marseille and AEK Athens. Group C, where Rangers are playing, they meet Real Betis, Sparta Prague, and Aris Limassol. Group D, what an interesting group this is. Atalanta, Sporting Lisbon, Sturm Graz, and Rakow. And Liverpool, easy. Lask, Union St. Gilloise, and Toulouse. And Group F, Villarreal, Rennes, Maccabi Haifa from Israel, and Panathinaikos from Greece. Group G, Roma, Slavia Prague, Sheriff Tiraspol, and Servette. And Group H, Bayer Leverkusen, Qarabag, Molde, and Hacken. So some interesting groups there. But what about the teams that we're playing? Well, let's start off with Olympiakos. Obviously, you know, they're in Greece. Their stadium is the Karaiskakis Stadium, capacity of 33,334. No, they're honours. Champions 47 times in Greece. Greek Cup winners 28 times, and they currently sit first in their league. How'd you get there? Well, flight to Athens, round about 3.5 hours, about 160 odd quid, 200 quid. And then from the airport to Piraeus is that you get a subway that takes about an hour, which will cost you about a tenner, or there's a bus that takes about an hour and a half for about a fiver. Hotel stay there, starting off at around £35. The manager, Diego Martinez, no major honours to talk about. And their main player, interestingly, is a player that they've just taken on loan from Nottingham Forest, Brazilian Gustavo Scarpa, who's won trophies in Brazil. Are they a threat? I don't know, you know. I think Olympiakos, they are a team of with a great history, but I don't know. They got through their qualifying stages with ease to get into the group stages of the Europa League. They finished third in the Greek Super League last season. As I said, they're currently first in their league at the moment. They're accustomed to being in the Champions League, but they failed to make it out of the Europa League stages last season. Danger rating 3 out of 5. I'd give them a 2.5 to a 3 out of 5, I think. Next up is German club FC Freiburg. They play at the Schwarzwald Stadium, capacity of 34,700. No major honours in their history, and they currently sit 5th in their league. How to get there? Well, from London, you fly. You can go to Versailles and then take the TGV train to Freiburg. 6.5 hours, give or take. Or you can, and then from that station to the actual ground takes 21 minutes, 3 quid or so. Or you can take a bus for about £1. To fly to Freiburg, about 180, £200, can go up to £400. Hotel stay from there, about 40 quid a night. Christian Streich is their manager. Again, no major honours to talk about in his history. Their main player is Ritsu Doan, 25 years of age. He joined Freiburg in 2022. When he played in Holland, in the Netherlands, he was the Dutch Cup winner with PSV Eindhoven, and he's a Japanese international. And then we have TSC Baka Topola, to give them their full name, from Serbia. They play at the TSC Arena, only 4,500. So there's going to have to be an alternative stadium because apparently there's a minimum requirement of an 8,000 capacity. So that'll be named pretty soon. Honours, again, nothing in their history, and they currently sit first in their league. Flight to Serbia, you go to Belgrade, 2.5 hours, approximately 90 quid, up to 200 quid. 3 changes then by bus, 2 buses and a train to get to Bacca Topola, which will take about 3 hours, which will cost you about 60 quid. And then stay hotel is about £20 a night. Just want to go back on um, Freiburg, because it's not by flight. You can get the Eurostar. My sincere apologies, that's an error. You can get the Eurostar to Versailles and then train from Versailles to Freiburg, which will take you about 6.5 hours. Now, their manager, Sarko Lazetic, was a Serbian league winner in 2005 and 6 with Bezanijar, and Serbian League and Serbian Cup winner with Partizan in 2007, 2008. Their main player is Milos Pantovic, 27 years of age. He joined TSC this summer. He's a Serbian international, formerly played for Bayern Munich. He's played for quite a number of teams, but one of them were Bayern Munich, where he won league and cup doubles. So it's going to be interesting. The number of teams that we've got to play: Olympiacos, Freiburg, and TSC. Look, I don't want to say it's easy, because no games are ever easy, but I think it's a favourable sort of draw. I think we should, with the firepower that we have, I think we should get through this group and see who we get in the last 16. Obviously, we want to not only just get into get through the group, but we want to win it as well in order for it to favour us going into the last 16 stages. It's exciting. Look, what else is happening? Well, I'll soon be on my way to Luton to see the game tonight. The transfer window shuts at 11 o'clock. We now know who we're playing in the Europa League. Exciting times for West Ham United. Let's win the game tonight. Let's focus on the here and now. Let's win the game tonight. Worry about what happened. Let's not worry about what happens in the transfer window. But it looks like there will be some movement. I said this morning, quite likely maybe one player leaving and one player coming. It could end up being 2. With Ben Johnson looking at leaving on the cards. Any other players leaving West Ham? I don't know at this stage. The most likely is Cornet and Johnson, but we'll see what happens thereafter. Thank you for joining me. Great times ahead. Look out for all the videos I'll put out for all the goals that we're going to score against Luton Town tonight. No, let's honour them, because it's their first Premier League game for Luton Town. They're going to be well up for it, and it's not going to be an easy game at all. Thank you for joining. I'll see you all very soon, and yeah, have a great weekend.